Hey everybody, welcome to the Warp. I'm Jack Rita. This is the second video where I'm going to talk about the flares that are part of what would have been the 8th expansion for Cosmic Encounter, Cosmic Universe. So we've done some videos where we've looked at the aliens, and there's another video where we looked at the first 7 flares. We're going to do 6 more flares in this one. So let's jump into it. We have got, first of all, Shark. So let's remind ourselves about Shark here. This is an alien that it's going to, at the end of an encounter, if you are not a main player or an ally, if another player has lost at least one ship or discarded a card, you may use your power. You're going to force somebody who lost ships to lose 2 more ships of their choice, or force a player who discarded a card to discard 2 additional cards of their choice. Whatever it is that they're losing is going to go on this sheet. At the end of the encounter, if you didn't use your power and you were still not involved, you're going to either send all the ships on the sheet to the warp and then retrieve one of your ships, putting it at any of your colonies, or send all of the ships on the sheet to the discard piles and then draw 1 card from the deck. Pretty decent effect there. So let's look at the wild here. The wild for Shark is when another player draws a new hand, you may take any cards they had to discard before drawing and then add them all to your hand. Then you're going to take 1 card from that player's new hand at random and add it to your hand as well. When somebody is getting a new hand, you're going to get one of those cards for sure. And you may get some other stuff as well. So this is a juicy flare, very good effect, but you are waiting for somebody to draw a new hand. So you could be waiting a while. Hopefully, though, you're going to be able to fire this a couple of times. Then the super, of course, is when you're using your power, you're going to increase the number of lost ships or cards to 4. So normally somebody's losing 2 more ships, or they're going to lose 2 cards, but now they're going to lose 4. So that is that's pretty scary, I think. Not something anyone's going to look forward to. All right, next up we have Hydra. This is the alternate timeline Hydra. So let's not forget that there are 2 Hydras in this expansion, just because I thought it would be fun to add another alternate timeline alien. So we're starting with that Hydra here. And this is one that is going to be, every time you lose a colony, whether it's foreign or home, you're going to name an alert level and draw aliens until you get one that matches that alert level. So you can be like, I just want to get another green alien. But you can be like, you know what? This is a green alien, but I know my way around the cosmic block. So I'm going to go for a red alien, or, there's more yellow aliens, so maybe you'll get more there. And you will, then you'll have that alien. So it's going to be an extra head, and you have your extra heads. Choosing which one you're going to use at the start of each turn. It's a nice little meta effect. So let's look at the wild here. If you're a winning offensive ally, you may draw an additional alien power instead of landing on a colony. So that's interesting. And this is one where maybe you try to get allied with somebody who is attacking a planet where you already have a colony. So they're just like, okay, if you want to help, maybe they don't realize this is what's going to happen. Or maybe it's worth it to you, especially if this is early enough in the game. Maybe your turn is coming up next, because you're only going to, this is a 1 shot. You're going to have to give it to Hydra or discard it. But having that additional alien, that might be the edge. So it's the long con. You're going for it here. And then, of course, the super is you may use a face-down extra head during this encounter. So what does that mean here? So it's a face-down head. So, you are any of your extra heads, if you've got more than 1 extra head, the other ones are going to be face down. You're choosing one to be face up and active. So that's what this means. Turn inactive extra heads face down. So you're like, oh no, I turned chosen face down, but I need to use chosen. So I'm going to play the Hydra super, and I'm going to use that face down alien. So that's what the Hydra flare is. So I think both of these are pretty good effects. I like that. Here's the other Hydra. So this is the one that has the extra hyperspace gate, or what we call the Hydra space gate. So you're basically you're attacking two systems, and you're adding the ships in both of the gates to each of the encounter totals. So a little bit of a boost there, one card. So the wild here is when you're an ally, when you send ships into the encounter, you're going to send an equal number, even above your normal ship limit. That they start out as bystanders. So in the planning phase, after cards are played before they're revealed, add the bystander ships to the encounter or return them to your other colony. So it's just a way if you want to have twice as many ships in there, maybe as a bluff, or maybe to get additional rewards. But maybe something happens, like the sorcerer's in there, and they're going to say switch, and you're like, oh, I was hoping you weren't going to say switch. So maybe I'm just going to send those ships home. But yeah, it's nice to have that option and really get that extra bonus in there. And the super is that when you are not a main player, you may offer the offense the use of the Hydra space gate if they invite you to be an ally to both gates. So the offense's revealed encounter card counts for both gates. Only your ships count for both gates encounter totals. So if you're sending along two ships, you're going to be adding, if you have two ships in both gates, you're basically adding a 4 to each of those totals. So that's pretty good too. I like that one. So let me know if you don't think so, but I think it's pretty good. Next we have Xenophobe. So what does Xenophobe do? Well, Xenophobe gets bonuses for being alone. So when they're a main player, they're going to add 2 to your total for each of your home colonies that you occupy, and you'll add 3 for each foreign colony that you occupy alone. So this is somebody who wants to go it alone, and probably can. So for the wild is, as a main player, double the value of your ship's total toward encounters if you have no allies. So you're just like, all right, I'm sending in 4, and I'll be able to play the Xenophobe to double that. So it's a little bit of a human effect there. Especially good if you're somebody like Macron or Micron maybe. And then with the super is you're going to add 1 to your total for each colony that you share with only one other player. So maybe you're xenophobic if you're like, I'm on this side of the planet and I'm not crossing this line, and the super gives me some incentive to do that. So not too bad. If you've got this flair, maybe you're like, all right, yeah, I'll invite you along. And now you don't have to worry about allying with me and getting this foreign colony because I can't add that 3. But you'll be able to add 1. So that's pretty nice. All right, next up we have Imposter. So Imposter is the alien that replaces other players' ships. So each time a destiny card is drawn that indicates a player color, you're going to put a cosmic token on that planet, a planet in that system. And if there are ever more cosmic tokens on a planet than the ships of another player's color, you get to replace those ships with your own. So very sneaky. So let's look at the wild first. As a main player, you may replace your revealed encounter card with the top card of the discard pile if it is an encounter card. So you just got to pay attention to that and know that you've got that as a backup plan. And then the super is when you replace ships with your power, you may move the cosmic tokens to any planets that have no cosmic tokens, 1 per planet. So it's a nice way to get a jump start on the next time you get to use that power. All right, and then our last one is Nuke. So this one is, pun intended, but a pretty explosive alien. Is the power to explode. So you can shout kaboom when you are selecting an attack card in the planning phase. You select all of the attack cards in your hand and you form a stack, and the stack counts as 1 card with all of the cards in it added together. So you can have a big boom. You are going to then be stuck with, just negotiates or any other non-attack cards as your only encounter cards going forward. And maybe you don't have any, which is great, but then you're also, if you had flares and artifacts and reinforcements, you're going to probably lose those because you're going to need to draw a new hand soon. So that's the trade-off there. So the Nuke Wild is that when you're a main player or an ally, you may discard your hand and add 3 to your encounter totals for each card discarded. So this could be very explosive, but you're losing all those cards. So hopefully it's going to be worth it. And then the super, when you use your power, you may return up to half, rounded down, of the cards in your stack back to your hand before revealing them. So you can be like, yeah, I'm going kaboom. But some of those cards I'm going to still have. So I'll be able to kaboom again. Maybe not quite as big, but there you have it. So those are our next 6 flares. There should be 6 more um, left to do in next week's video. So let me know in the comments what you think of these 6 flare cards for the unpublished aliens that would have been in Cosmic Universe. And again, not that I'm trying to push people to bully, and let's not bully Fantasy Flight, but encourage Fantasy Flight to reconsider. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think crowdfunding this expansion would be the best way to see it realized, or at least to give Fantasy Flight the insight into whether or not it would be successful. If it's worth their time. If enough people pledged for the Game Found or the Kickstarter or whatever it is, then they know that they can move forward with it. And if they don't, then they're not really out anything if not a lot of people do it. I know that it's not a model that they like to use, but the industry is changing, and a lot more publishers are embracing this as an idea. It's a fairly low risk way to bring some products out there, and at least they can limit their investment to something that will ultimately be profitable. So I think it's a good way to go, and I hope that they will consider it. But yeah, let me know what you think of these guys, should they be part of it. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.